Hi, I'm Toby. So, last time I used Oshawott, and it was relatively easy thanks to the presence of Sword Stance on his moveset. This video's Pokemon is way worse, as today I'll try to answer the question: can I beat Pokemon Y2 Challenge Mode with only Weedle? Weedle has an attack stat lower than any of the 3 Unova starters, a special attack that not even if you double it will be higher than any of them. The ability to learn only 3 moves by level up, one of them being straight up useless, 1 move by move tutor and none by TM. Having its best attack have a base power of 60, being tied in 4th for having the lowest base stat total in the game, and having his base 50 speed being its only redeeming factor. Yeah, this is going to be one of the hardest Pokemon I'll ever have to do. The rules for the challenge are simple. I can only use Weedle for combat. I'll have other Pokemons for HMs, but I won't be allowed to use them for battle, except for special occasions. I'll get into that when the time comes. No items during battle, however held items are okay. And finally, evasion moves, items, abilities, focus band, and the moves return and hidden power are banned. The last rule is more of a personal preference. With that out of the way, let's start the run. I start by using the universal Pokemon randomizer to replace Snivy for Weedle. That way, my rival can have Tepig, the hardest for Weedle to fight in my opinion. I name her McLean, after the protagonist of the action movie Die Hard, John McClane. It has a bashful nature, so neutral stat. I would have preferred more attack, but it's fine. She has the ability Shield Dust. It prevents added effects on attacks to work. For example, if Weedle gets hit by Fake Out, it won't flinch him. However, it doesn't work on status moves, so Thunder Wave can still get me paralyzed. She starts with the moves Poison Sting and String Shot. The former is a 15 base power poison move that has a 30% chance of getting the opponent poisoned, and the latter is a move that lowers the opponent's speed. Not great, but having a stab move that can poison is better than nothing. The first rival fight took me by surprise, because I defeated him on the first try using only Poison Sting. It was mostly because I poisoned him on the second turn, and he kept using Tail Whip when I was at 1 hit from fainting. But considering it's supposed to have a better AI, it really surprised me. The fights on Route 20 were similar, where I won first try. I then arrived to Flosesi Ranch, where the second rival fight was waiting for me. The first try, I lost, but on the second try, he kept using Tail Whip again, handing me the win. On the way to the gym, I lost again to a random trainer while fighting for some levels, but when I arrived, I didn't stand a chance. Fighting 2 Pokemon consecutively is a problem when Weedle deals so little damage, so I went to grind. I did this on the first route of the game, Route 19, where there are only Patrats and Purloins. They don't give the most HP, but they give attack and speed EVs, so that should help a bit. I don't even bother to return until I got to level 15, where Weedle learns his only move until the move tutor, Bug Bite, a 60 base power physical bug move that has the added effect of eating the berry that the opponents hold. That can help for longevity, and the added power makes it stronger than Poison Sting in almost every way. Now that I got Bug Bite, the trainers inside the gym were no problem, so after equipping an Oran Berry to Weedle, I challenged Cheren. He sends Patrat and I attack with Bug Bite doing half while he sets up with Work Up. Another Bug Bite KOs him. The Ace Lillipup is next. I use Bug Bite to eat his berry and do a third of damage while he sets up. I attack again and leave him really close to the red as he counters with a tackle that does almost half. Next turn, he uses a potion to heal, but 2 more Bug Bites take him down. Pidove is his last Pokemon. I use Bug Bite but he resists it, so it does very little damage and he sets up a Work Up. I decide to go for Poison Sting and hope for him to get poisoned, and it happened on the second try. While this happened, he sets up for a third time and used Quick Attack, activating my berry. He uses Quick Attack again next turn and leaves Weedle with only 1 HP. I counter with Bug Bite leaving him on a sliver, but thanks to the poison, he goes down. I get to the gym in Burbank City, but to make the long story short, I can't even beat the trainers on the gym. So I go to grind on Wild Audinos on the route below until I get to level 25. At that level I can beat the trainers, but I can't beat Roxy yet. Her Ace Whirlipede has Rollout, a super effective move that gets stronger as it's used. So I go and get more levels. I try again at level 31, and after giving Weedle a citrus berry, I get this run. She sends her coughing and I use Poison Sting twice to do some chip damage while she counters with Assurance and Venoshock. Because I took damage, I can now eat her berry with Bug Bite and regain some health. While this happened, she countered with Assurance. We do this again, but she lands on heal range, so she uses a super potion, but after 3 turns of using Bug Bite, I KO the coughing. The Ace Whirlipede comes out. I use Bug Bite to eat her Citrus Berry and she starts the rollout. I use Bug Bite again and she misses rollout. Another Bug Bite and she starts rollout once more. I use Bug Bite to get her into the red and rollout activates my Citrus Berry. But because she's stuck in rollout and she can't heal, another Bug Bite KOs her. Primary's last and I use Bug Bite doing decent damage, but she disables it. So now I'm stuck using Poison Sting that does almost nothing. After a couple of turns, I can use Bug Bite again and defeat her. After watching a movie at PokeStar Studios, defeating some Plasma Grunts and watching some family drama, I get to Castelia City. I can get the Eviolite for Weedle after fighting some more Pokemon and getting their Pokédex entries. I tried the Borg fight, but I can't beat it. The furthest I got was Livani, but he put me to sleep with Grass Whistle and used Aerial Ace to KO me. Maybe if I got insane luck I could win, but I'd rather train than keep trying. I come back after a few levels. He sends Dwebble first. I use Poison Sting to do some chip damage and he raises his speed with Rock Polish. Next turn, he uses Rock Blast to hit 3 times and I use Bug Bite to hit his berry and do half his health in damage. After another Rock Blast that hits 2 times and a Bug Bite, he goes down. Carablast is sent. A Bug Bite from Weedle does massive damage to him and an Aerial Ace leaves me on a third of HP. He heals and I use Bug Bite again. He uses Endure and I use Bug Bite again, leaving him on 1 HP. Finally a Poison Sting KOs him. The Ace Livani is next. A Bug Bite eats his berry and leaves him on a third of HP while he puts me to sleep. First turn of sleep and he uses Aerial Ace, leaving me at a quarter. Second turn I wake up and KO him with another Bug Bite. Last Pokemon is Shelmet. A Bug Bite does a bit under half and heals for Curse to raise his attack and defense. I hit another Bug Bite and he uses Struggle Bug doing no damage. A final Bug Bite defeats him. On the way to Nimbasa City there's the battle with Colress. It wasn't any problem, but I'm starting to notice that Pokemon with a resistance to Bug and high defense are going to become kinda troublesome later. I then tried to fight Elisa, but obviously I couldn't defeat her. So, I went to get some levels against the Audinos on Route 16. I usually fight the breeder on Lost Storm Forest, but he has a Tranquil that does way too much damage, so it's more efficient to beat Audinos. I grind to level 47 and get pretty far, but I need a few more levels to make the battle consistent. At level 50, I get this run. She lives with Emolga. I use Poison Sting to do some chip damage and she uses Pursuit doing almost nothing. I then use Bug Bite doing a lot and eating her berry to get back to full health, but she uses Aerial Ace doing like a third. Next turn, I KO her with another Bug Bite. She sends Zebstrika and I use Bug Bite doing massive damage and recovering some health by eating her berry, but she uses Flame Charge nullifying the recovery and raising her speed. She uses Stomp and another Bug Bite KOs her. Fluffy comes out. I use Poison Sting to do a bit of damage and it crits, doing close to half. However, she uses Thunder Wave, so now Weedle is paralyzed. She outspeeds now and uses Volt Switch, leaving me at 34 HP and switching to Jolty. For a crit Bug Bite, OHKOs him. Fluffy is out once again and a Volt Switch leaves Weedle with only 6 HP, while a Bug Bite KOs her. After getting the 4th badge is a battle against Heartbreaker Charles, and thankfully I didn't need to grind for it. For this fight, I catch 2 Azurials. He sends his Tirtuga, Sigilyph, and Archen, while I send Weedle and the 2 Azurials. Tirtuga uses Aqua Jet to OHKO one of the Azurials. Weedle uses Bug Bite to get Archen on the red, Sigilyph uses Side Beam on Weedle doing almost half, and Archen OHKOs the other Azuriel with Block. Next turn, I OHKO the Sigilyph with Bug Bite, Archen sets up with Agility, and Tirtuga does some damage with Ancient Power. After that, Tirtuga uses White Guard that does nothing, and Bug Bite leaves him on the red while Archen sets up another Agility. Afterwards, Archen uses Quick Guard that also does nothing and Tirtuga uses White Guard. Why aren't they attacking me? A Bug Bite KOs the Tirtuga. Lastly, Archen uses Quick Guard again. Why? And the final Bug Bite gets me the win. Now, remember what I said before about having trouble with Pokemon that resist Bug type and have high defense? Well, the next gym leader Clay has 2 of them. And that's not even half of the problem. It starts with Rock, and it has Intimidate, so my attacks do even less than they already were. I tried a couple of times, but with Onix resisting my moves, him having Hyper Potion, the Intimidate, and Weedle being frail, I stood no chance. The best I could do was get into Sand Slash, but at that point, my health was too low. This grind is getting pretty boring. I can at least fight the breeder now, but the level gain is slow. As a countermeasure, I catch a couple of Lillipup and release the ones that don't have the pickup ability. What I'm going to do is while I train Weedle, I'm going to equip the Lillipups the experience share. That way, they get levels and don't fight, so no rules are broken. When they get to level 21, they'll have a 4% chance each of them to get me a rare candy, speeding up the leveling process. I get every Lillipop to level 21 and Weedle to 55. I can now get to Excadrill with a bit of luck, but would you look at how little damage I'm dealing to him? I need to get more levels. Now that I have the pickup squad assembled, I switch the training spot to Route 6 against regular wild Pokemon. This way, the battles are faster and I get more items from pickup. It still takes a long time to grind, but every few often I get a rare candy that lowers the time I spend leveling up. After some time I get to level 59, and using the 6 rare candies that I got, Weedle gets to 65. And after many tries, I get this battle. First is his Krokorok, and thanks to his ability, my attack is lowered for the rest of the fight. However, he's quick to bug moves, so a single bug bite OHKOs him. Next is his Onix. I use bug bite doing a bit under half and he goes for rock polish to raise his speed. I use bug bite again to leave him on the red and he uses rock polish again. He heals and a bug bite gets him to a bit over half. He now outspeeds and a rock slide deals close to a third of HP while a bug bite gets him to the red. Another rock slide and another bug bite and Onix goes down. Sandslash comes out and a bug bite appears to do half while a bulldoze does a bit. And thanks to Weedle's ability, his speed is lowered. Another bug bite leaves him on a sliver and a crit bulldoze gets Weedle to only 5 HP. Next turn, Sandslash goes down. Finally is the ace Excadrill. A bug bite does very little damage, but it is his fairy recovering some health. However, a bulldoze brings Weedle to 7 HP. Luckily, a crit bug bite that ignores the attack drop KOs the Excadrill, getting me the 5th badge. After that long grind is the PWT, but besides Colress, it was no problem. I then get to Mistradon City, home of the Flying Gym. I tried just to see how bad it was, and on one try it went pretty well. I was close to OHKOing the Zubat and got a crit on Sigilyph and Swanna to KO them. But when I got to Skarmory, it all went downhill. If only I had an electric move. I at least have a better place to train that gives more experience, and I also got the lucky egg that gives 50% more experience. I grinded all the way to level 75, and even though I can OHKO the Zubat and close to doing the same to Sigilyph, there's a new problem. The Swanna has Feather Dance, a move that halves my attack, and it always starts by using it. Even worse is the fact that she requires 3 hits to get defeated and heals herself with Roost. And even if I somehow get a crit to KO her, the Skarmory that comes after is way too tanky, so my attacks do literally no damage. After trying for a while, I gave Weedle some rare candies that I got while training to get a more consistent fight. I can sometimes beat the Swanna now without getting hit by Feather Dance, but Weedle still does no damage at all against Skarmory, and because she has a decent attack stat and stab Aerial Ace, I just get easily defeated. Not even a crit can help me in this situation. After that, I decided to just bite the bullet and get Weedle to level 100. Is what I would say if I didn't realize when I was just about to grind that I still had the Lucky Egg equipped instead of the Eviolite. Whoops. I tried for hours, many times getting Skarmory to a sliver of health, but I knew that if I kept trying, eventually the stars would align. And that's what happened after a while. First, I OHKO her Zubat. Next is Sigilyph. Bug-bite leaves her on the red and she misses a Hypnosis. Next turn, she heals, so another Bug-bite brings her close to the red. The turn after, she goes down. The Ace Swanna comes out. A Bug-bite does close to half and luckily she doesn't use Feather Dance and even misses Earth Slash. Another Bug-bite KOs her. Finally is Skarmory. She first sets up 2 agilities to outspeed me while I go for Bug-bites to do minimal damage. We then go back and forth for a while between Aerial Ace and Bug-bite. In the end, an Aerial Ace from her leaves Weedle with 1 HP, but a crit Bug-bite KOs her, finally defeating Skyla. I can finally move on with the story and get to Lantimas Town, where the Shard Move Tutor can teach Weedle his 4th and last move, Electro Web, a 55 base power special electric move that also lowers the opponent's speed. It would have been great to have it for the Flying Gym, but hey, better late than never. However, I don't think I'm going to be using it much. If you look at my special attack, it's only 39. Compare it to my attack that's 128 and you'll see why it's not that useful. The only thing that I could use it for is some chip damage and the lowering speed effect. Next is a Hue fight, and I'm immediately proven wrong with Electro Web, only if Bug Bite is resisted. and Electro Web is super effective, then and only then Electro Web is better than Bug Bite. But anyways, first he sends his on Pheasant. I try to hit Electro Web but miss, while he also misses with Air Slash. Next turn, he uses Detect to waste a turn. I then crit with Electro Web, leaving him on a sliver, and he taunts me. He heals, and after 2 Electro Webs, he goes down. Next is his Embor. I use Poison Sting to poison him, and he uses Takedown, doing a bit of damage. Thanks to the poison, after a couple of turns, he also goes down. Finally is Simipour. I use Bug Bite, almost OHKOing him, and he uses Skull, leaving me on the red. Next turn, Hugh gets defeated. There's the Insulin Double Battle, which depending on the moves they choose and who they target, it can be impossible or easy. It took a few tries, but in the end, I defeated them. Drayden is after, but I need to grind again. I know, shocker. The Drodigon is an easy 2-shot, but the Altaria resists my moves, has Cotton Guard to raise his defense even further, and he also has Fire Blast to do massive damage. So I stand no chance at level 79. I plan to grind until level 85, but while doing so I find a shiny Golduck. I honestly was expecting this to happen with all the grinding against wild Pokemon, but it still caught me by surprise. I catch it and he becomes my HM user for the rest of the run. I get to level 85 and try the fight again. First is his Stratagon. A Bug Bite does a lot of damage to him as he counters with a Revenge that takes only 13 HP out of Weedle. Next turn, he gets KO'd. He then sends his Altaria. I start by using Poison Sting on the hope that he gets poisoned. First turn, he doesn't and sets up a Cotton Guard to raise his defense. Second turn, he still doesn't get poisoned as he misses a Fire Blast. Third turn, it finally happens as he sets up another Cotton Guard. And after spamming Bug Bite for a while and Altaria healing at one point, I get lucky and crit him, leaving Altaria on the red. However, on that same turn, he puts me to sleep with Sing. The next turn, he gets KO'd because of the poison, but he hits me with Fire Blast, leaving Weedle at half HP. And to make it worse, I'm still asleep. Afterwards is Flygon. I luckily wake up and hit him with Bug Bite doing half. He counters with Dragon Tail, leaving me at a third, and another Bug Bite KOs him. Finally is the Ace Hatterus. I eat his berry with Bug Bite and get him to half HP. He uses Dragon Tail, and thanks to the berry, I'm able to live. So next turn, he goes down. The next and final gym is the Water type, and the furthest I could get was Jellicent after defeating 3 of Marlon's Pokemon with a lot of luck. So I go and level up to level 87, and thanks to all the rare candies that I've collected from hidden items and Lillipup, I won't need to grind anymore. So I get Weedle with the rare candies to level 90 and try once more. I get to Jellicent again, but he disables my Bug Bite with Curse Body and that just doomed me. At that point I decided to just simply get Weedle to level 100 and hope for the best. He leaves with Wailord. I use Bug Bite to leave him on the red and he sets up the rain with Rain Dance. He heals and after 2 more Bug Bites he goes down. Next is Caracosta. A Bug Bite does a bit under half, but he only sets up with Shell Smash, and because of his lower defenses, another Bug Bite KOs him. Mentine comes out and a Bug Bite does a bit under half, but he counters with an Air Slash that also does a bit under half. Another one leaves him on the red as he confuses Weedle with Confuse Ray. He heals next turn and a Bug Bite for some reason now does half. Must have been a high roll. Weedle then snaps out of confusion and KOs the Mantine. Last is his Ace Jellicent. A Bug Bite does like a third as Weedle eats a Citrus Berry. His Scald however takes the recovery away. Another Bug Bite gets him to the red and a Shadow Ball is Weedle low, but a final Bug Bite can finish him off. The last 2 Insulin battles aren't even worth mentioning, so let's move on into what you were all expecting. How does Weedle fare against Colress? The answer is... not well. If I get a crit I can KO the Magnezone, but then BHM can just OHKO me with super effective Psychic. I could try with Quick Claw, but there are still 3 other Steel types that I will have to beat through the paralysis. So even if I got insane luck, I don't think Weedle will be able to beat them with brute force alone. So in short, this is the end of the run. It was surprising how far I could get with Weedle. Guess that just goes to show how with decent speed and a somewhat reliable stab move, one can go far in this type of challenges. I honestly thought at the start of the challenge that I will get stuck at the Flying Gym, but I knew that even if I managed to beat that, Colress will be the end. Anyways, since I did one of the worst first form Pokemon, let's do one of my choice. So for next time, I'll do Poochyena. It only has 25 more points in base stats, but it has a way more diverse move pool, and it's one of the few first form Pokemon with access to the move Taunt by level up. So I have a lot of expectations for him. If you want to see more of my content, you can check my Shiny Professor Oak challenge playlist that's on screen. Or If you want to see something more like what you just watched, you can check the solo runs playlist, that's also on screen. Anyways, that's all I have for now. See ya!